Well, thankfully, we recovered from Adrian's question, so maybe the rest of them will go a little bit smoother. Yes, sir. Who are you and where are you from?
Richard from New Jersey, I guess.
That works.
Do you know where you're from? Because if you have to guess.
He's not sure, we're not sure, it all works out.
My parents said I was born in Brooklyn, but I don't remember. Anyway.
What was your question, sir?
So I was listening today to both your last episode and the XM episode. And
The Sirius XM
yeah,
episode?
Sirius XM episode, sorry.
That's one company now, sir.
Whatever. I pay for one. But
I understand.
I noticed they're both very similar in content and everything else, which I understand because, how much news happens in the span of, a week or two for geek stuff. So the one question I had, though, was in regard to, in the podcast, Matt brought up the Terminator stuff.
And Matt is?
Oh, sorry. Geek Stuff OG
thank you.
brought up the Terminator films and asked you, had you ever heard about any of this? And you said, no, I haven't. And you then riffed on it. And then I listened to the Sirius XM episode, and he asked the exact same question, and you said, no, I haven't. And it was just like, well...
Sir, let me explain to you... explain to you what branding is. When you have a brand, like you have, let's say, a podcast, and you go to, say, major satellite radio company, pick any of them, and they say to you, we would like you to do a show for us, and we would like you to forget about this podcast thing and just do a show for us. And we then say to that company, well, we would like to continue doing our show over here and also do the show for you over here. So what we have to do then is separate into two separate brands. So what you have on the one side is Big Kev's Geek Stuff, the podcast. And on the other side, you have Big Kev's Geek Stuff, the Sirius XM experience. So two different brands. And while you may hear some crossover on the two shows, and it's actually a really good question because,
sure, absolutely.
Because it's a good opportunity for us to explain. While you may hear some crossover on the two shows, by and large, what we're trying to do is to keep the shows separate. So we're going to have some content that will appear on the podcast that doesn't appear on the SiriusXM show. Likewise, we will have some content on the SiriusXM show that will not appear in the podcast.
And some weeks it'll probably be closer than others, depending on what's going on with us in the show.
Let me give you an example. We're going to have some live studio guests coming up. I don't want to mention their names at this time, but those guests will only appear on the SiriusXM portion of the show and not on the podcast side of the show. Likewise, we have some guests who will be appearing on the podcast version, but not on the SiriusXM. So it allows us to do more and keep both items separate so that we can continue to do both. Because we know not everyone has SiriusXM, and this would be a good time to tell you that you can get SiriusXM for a very low price. You should run out and get it now, God damn it. And but for the people who haven't gotten it yet, but soon will, they can listen to the podcast and get material over here, and people who have SiriusXM can get the material over there. So that's why. So of course, some things like let's say a dump truck hit Joe Quesada, and he died horribly, painfully, bloody. Please hold your applause. We all know how we feel. Let's say that were to occur. Well, clearly we would then have to do that on both shows because that would be big, and for many in the audience, happy news. So therefore, we would cover that on both shows. So that's how the branding bit works. And thank you very much for your question. That was a really good one, actually. So I'm going to give you a plush Chewbacca. And he makes, wait. And he makes, yes, he makes happy, chewy sounds. And of course, you're bean boozled, sir. You know what? Your question was so good. I would like you to have 2 bean boozled.
Oh, good. He'll get 2 earwax and 2 dirty diaper jelly beans now.
So to explain what bean boozled is, and we've talked about this quite a while, ago. Jelly Belly used to do bots every flavor beans,
Right, from Harry Potter
thing. They stopped doing that. They started doing this. It's essentially the same concept, except that the beans are identical. Some of the beans are really good. Like one is buttered popcorn, but the one that looks exactly like it, you could either get buttered popcorn or rotten egg. You could get juicy pear or booger. I'm not even making these up. They're on here. Plum or black pepper. So that's the kind of, it's like a little goofy thing. I thought it was great. So they gave us these and we're giving them away. So there it is. Well, how are we on time, sir? Go, we have time. Wait, it's Brian Jude. How many minutes? 4.
Well, he doesn't have to introduce himself now.
Oh, that's true. Okay, mystery person. Can you say who you are and where you're from?
Sure. I am friend of the show, Brian Jude from Passaic, New Jersey.
Yes, sir. And what is your question?
I was going to do 3, but if we're limited for time, I'll stick to 1.
You can do 1, and then we'll take a little break, and we'll answer your other one. You can always get back in the line.
Okay. I will start with the one burning question I have. It's great to see you here for your 203rd episode party, I guess it is now, and especially here with all the video equipment. And curious to know, is there any plans to make Live from Studio V a sort of podcast or distributed through an RSS feed? Cricket.
We're all staring at production
No,
Tim.
you know, we toyed with it for a while, and it's something we still might choose to do. Although, I mean, you know, making it as subscription through YouTube, we thought was a pretty decent, you know, alternative to that until we work out the RSS. It may come somewhere down the line, but I wouldn't hold my breath just yet. I don't want to make false promises.
Do you need assistance in that department?
We are at the whim of our lead production person, so that's.
No, I mean, it may happen. We'll talk after the show.
He also has many real jobs. Also, like we mentioned earlier. No, we love the opportunity, of course, to get up and do the Studio Vs, which you can check out at our website, bigkevsgeekstuff.com, which is probably where you're watching this.
Probably.
Punch, stupid punch. And we love getting up and doing those. We have a lot of fun doing them. We think we're giving our opinions, whether you like them or not, we're giving them. And yeah, we really enjoy those a lot. So of course we want to do more. And when we're able to do more, when the perfect storm comes together and Clooney's boat is getting tossed around and we're actually able to do Studio Vs, we really like to do them. So there'll definitely be more.
And of course we should say, in a little bit tonight, we are going to be doing a live,
we're going to do
an actual live from Studio V for the people here tonight. So, that's coming up in a bit.
No, it's okay. Everyone wake up.
No,
Studio V.
I'm bored by them too. I got that damn tool with the. Anyway.
I really looked over and he's tweeting, but I thought Best Buy Billy had fallen asleep. He's doing one of these. It's like tweeting.